That was the worst year for wrestling in modern history, 1995, for every wrestling promotion. WCW sucked. Smoky Mountain folded up. Vince was quoted at his kitchen table a number of times to me in later years talking about, I lost $6 million out of my ass, pal. And there was just beginning to be the rumblings of the smart fans and shit. Because I remember it was either 94 or 95. I was in Knoxville, and Candido was down, and Tammy they were already working for me, and one of the guys from Philly came down to visit him, one of the, independent wrestlers. I can't even remember who it was, but he showed the pictures of Tommy Dreamer. He just started having those matches with Sandman, where they were really beating in. Tommy Dreamer's back is hamburger, and it's all swollen up where he's beating with the cane, and they're getting the blood everywhere and all, and we're laughing, of course. We're laughing at these fucking guys because they were marks. They were marks to start that shit because we knew. I remember Dirty White Boy, Tony Anthony, said, "Goddamn, I'm glad they're doing that in Philly and not here. They've killed the fucking business." Guess what happened? But up north, they were starting to be smart. Whereas down south, they were still normal wrestling fans. Out in the Midwest, they were kind of in between. They were still raucous, so most people still liked it, but the further north you went, the more they started cheering the heels, the more they were smart, and they would, try to entertain themselves. And once again, I'm not trying, and I like Tommy Dreamer. I've never had crossword with him, but that's kind of stupid shit where they were really hurting each other in front of people who knew it was bullshit to begin with is what started the turn of the business from being a thing where we used to pretend to hurt each other and the people believed it to we really do hurt each other and everybody thinks it's bullshit. And so the marks suddenly switched places. We wouldn't have been laughing at it at the time if we'd known that it was going to spread.
So in Smoky Mountain, one of the guys that you had down there was Glenn Jacobs.
Yeah.
And on WWF television, Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler are finishing their feud together with the Kiss My Foot match at King of the Ring. And Bret Hart wins, it's all good. And then we get the introduction of the evil dentist, Isaac Yankem. Isaac Yankem DDS. I don't want to misquote myself.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
I would cut my throat if it hadn't ended well for Glenn. I brought Undertaker down, and Percy Pringle, Paul Bearer. We'd known each other. We had never worked in the same place except he made a couple of Atlanta TVs when the Atlanta office was working with Florida and etc. in the '80s when we were there and everything. But we were both Southern boys. We're both longtime wrestling fans. We're both fan of each other's work. So instantly we bonded. So anyway, Taker had seen Glenn. He's tailor-made for them, and the Unabomb gimmick was, I thought, tailor-made. But I'm figuring these guys can do huge business on pay-per-view. So I finished Glenn up, and Vince calls me one day and says, "You're going to love this. We've just shot the vignettes. It's the greatest gimmick. He's going to be an evil dentist. Dr. Isaac Yankem with bad teeth. Vince went to the dentist and didn't like the experience. I don't know." He said, everybody hates going to the dentist. This is going to be great. Okay, at least Glenn's got a job. And actually, I think one of the last matches he had with Undertaker in the Coliseum at my Super Bowl wrestling show that August, where we sold out the Knoxville Civic Coliseum again, second year in a row. And then he was up there being an evil dentist, and it was rotten, and it was ha-ha, and it didn't work, and I'm sure we'll get to later on his next gimmick, but I was afraid that was going to be it, and I was scared because Glenn was such talented and a good person and needed to be in that spot. So, f***ing rotten. F***ing rotten, as Rip Rogers would say. F***ing rotten. F***ing rotten.